Hello, welcome to Day One Patch Podcast, episode 280. I'm your host, Ryan Johnson.
You cut me off. I was about to say Roland.
Yeah, I didn't know to do that. It's the end of times here, man.
The end of days. I kind of wanted to start the show with that lame, if you're hearing this, you are the resistance.
Yeah. How you doing in these trying times?
Doing all right, yeah.
Yeah.
Business as usual in terms of volume, but the business for work has changed.
Yeah.
People are acting strange in these days. So
I think like many of us, though, we all had self-isolating lives before this.
Well,
and so we're kind of, I think we have an extra barrier of...
We're
used to this lifestyle more than most, I think. Those people in Florida going to the beaches still, they can't take this.
Though they're maniacs.
Yeah.
The thing is like, I always worked from home anyway.
Right.
So that was fine. The only thing that's really changed is some people are not ordering the updates they normally would, and like the stuff they normally would.
Like from you?
From me.
Yeah.
But then others that are usually quiet are being like, "Oh, we have time now. Let's do some updates."
Yeah.
So that's kind of nice. But I guess that's the big difference. But
Mm-hmm.
like, I mean, it's just a different person on the phone.
Right.
So, and your work is now remote?
I'm now working from home. We'll see how long this lasts, I guess. A lot of people working from home now. It's putting strain on the internet services. Did you hear in Europe they lowered the Netflix? I think Netflix, YouTube, and Apple all lowered their streaming qualities to ease the strain on the network of the internet providers over there.
I have noticed that sometimes YouTube fails to load a video here and there now. Like, you just click it and it just doesn't do anything. And you're like, okay. You know, like, reopen it.
Yeah. So at least there's a lot of content. We live in an age of a lot of content, so you know there's a lot to do at home.
Well, I noticed that in the first. Well, I mean, we're only like 3-4 days in or something, technically. Well, wait. Well, how far are we into
like
this?
2 weeks in now.
Are we considered 2 weeks into quarantine though?
Not quarantine, but since like the first case in Canada, like maybe 2 or 3 weeks or whatever it is.
I think what
I can bring up that chart actually.
So one of the scary things, is like we have this growth curve on a graph, right, on this line graph that tells us the spread, and then there's like a peak in which it stops spreading and people start getting better or dying sadly, and then it slowly goes down. And so there's been a lot of talk about where are we on the curve right now, because if you socially distance, you can flatten that curve, meaning there's less cases overall, as I understand it. Is that correct? Yeah, if you flatten the curve, there's less cases overall.
No, so it's what the whole purpose behind flattening the curve is to reduce the strain on the medical system.
But that curve is the amount of cases, right? When you go up, it's the amount of cases.
Yes, but if you look at the total area of the curve, it's about the same.
Right.
So it's all the flattening the curve is to help people, to help our healthcare system not implode.
Right.
Because if they have too many people, then they can't take care of people, and more people end up dying.
Right.
So if we can limit the amount overall, like who can currently have it, then they can get people through the system, through the hospital, and then get new people in and treat them.
And then obviously, naturally, social distancing will obviously give us less cases overall. Obviously,
yeah.
If someone's isolated in the mountains, they're probably not going to get it.
Right. Yeah. First case in Canada looked like it was January 15th.
You know what's really scary about this whole thing, actually? You told me at one point, I remember we were in a DQ, and you told me
That felt like so long ago.
we were talking about something, and then you said to me, you're like, did you hear about this Chinese flu? And I said, what? And you're like, it's probably going to kill us all. And then I was like, oh, whatever. And
I didn't say that.
I hadn't heard of it. You said something like that.
I didn't say it's going to kill us all.
As a joke or something.
Okay.
It was some sort of joke you said to me, but you're like, but the flu is real, actually. And I was like, oh.
The disease is real, yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, okay, like, whatever. And then, look where we are. Pretty scary.
Yeah, my cousin keeps saying, like, she never thought we would live through this. Like, she didn't think it would happen. I kind of always felt that. I watched a lot of those shows, like, how are humans going to die? And always on the list is a pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
You know? So, this one's not going to kill us off, but it's pretty bad. So, stay safe out there. Follow the instructions of your local health officials.
And call your doctor for details.
Call your doctor if you're feeling some symptoms. All right, Matt.
What's up?
You're Matt, by the way. I don't think I introduced us. I'm Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
Some of our top stories for this week. We finally got a little bit more information on the PS5, but it wasn't exactly what we were looking for. But we got a lot of interesting information on that. You'll be happy about this. The PS5 won't have long game install times. That was a big issue we were having.
Damn copying.
Yeah. GameStop considers itself a essential retail business and is staying open despite quarantine and lockdown going into effect. Steam has broken its concurrent user record because of all the people at home playing the Steam.
Damn.
And Gabe Newell says that we're nearing an extinction-level event for entertainment.
What in the hell?
He's talking the Matrix. He's talking about us jacking into the Matrix.
And then never suffering a pandemic again.
Until someone comes around and starts unplugging us.
Or no, they just spray us with something.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
You know what's really scary about this? I can see like a movie already where it's like we consider those people the caretakers or something.
Yeah.
Like we give them a creepy name like the caretakers.
What's concerning, and this is like a problem with the holodeck, is like, why would you ever leave the holodeck? If you could create a perfect world that was like that you couldn't tell was fake, and you could design it to be whatever you wanted it to be,
You really probably wouldn't.
why would you be?
Probably wouldn't.
So is that our future? Is that we're gonna
Windows mixed reality headsets is the future, bud.
let's say like in 1,000 years, are we all gonna be in a virtual reality?
It's either that or it's a bad movie, but either that or Surrogates.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The Surrogates would be interesting.
But you remember that? What was that? That movie, that Spielberg movie we watched based on the book. They had the VR headsets and they would race around and they'd be video game characters. And you remember that?
Oh, Ready Player One.
Yeah. Maybe that'll be our life too. But that's one of those things where it's like their lives on the outside were crappy. Why wouldn't you just stay in there all day?
Well, that's what I was about to say. Is I wonder if the life outside has to be crappy. Like we're currently not that crowded yet.
Mm-hmm.
Even the most populated countries are not that crowded yet. So,
But again, it's just one of those things where you can make your life whatever you wanted it to be.
yeah.
So
The Sims, Animal Crossing, even.
everyone's going crazy over Animal Crossing, eh?
I bought it.
Have you started it?
I started it.
Is
Yeah.
it good?
Yeah, it's pretty damn good.
Now, I've never really played an Animal Crossing. I played that iOS version,
Pocket
but
Camp.
but I don't think that was representative of what the actual game is like. Right?
I'd say it's representative.
Really? Because I did not like that.
Not fully. I would say that you could consider. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying I only played it for the first few months since it was out,
Mm-hmm.
and I actually re-downloaded it recently, and there's a lot has changed. So most of my experience actually lies in the old version. I've only played it once in the new.
Yeah.
So if we consider the old version, the 2 or 3 month old version, I'd say that game is sort of like the jam pack version of Animal Crossing, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
The old like that for the youngins out there. We used to buy magazines from PlayStation, and they would give us a CD called the Jam Pack, or sometimes it was. I call them all Jam Packs. Some of them are demo discs, whatever. But basically, a Jam Pack is a demo disc. Some of them are just called demo discs. They were in magazines, or sometimes they were actually sold for like $10, and you'd get to like try all the new games. So I would say it's one of those versions, like a demo version of New Leaf, which is the DS one, the one right before this one, and excluding the app. You basically like, spoilers, I guess. You run the town, and you literally just you run the town like you're the mayor. And what you're supposed to do every day is you boot into the game, and you like talk to the people. You literally just talk to these animals, and you like gain their friendship and stuff like that. And then different ones can move in and out at random, and you can like tell them to not leave, or you can even encourage them, I think, to leave, or just let them leave.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a town where you can like, it's one of these games where it's very simple on the surface, but there's little intricacies. Like if you continually try to talk to this one person for like 26 days of real days, she never talks to you, but then one day she will talk to you or something like that. Like there's little intricacies like that.
Okay.
And then not Pocket Camp, New Leaf added. So first off, I think that was the first time you were the mayor of the town. So you got to choose, I want to say you got to choose some of the layout, but I'm not sure on that. I think you got to choose some of the amenities. I think that was it. It's been a long time since I played it. But you were the mayor of the town for the first time. And then you were able to leave the area, the map that you were on for the first time, and go to this other like tropical island to like catch bugs and stuff. So you make money literally by catching bugs, fishing, gathering stuff from like the beach, gathering fruit from trees, and you can like sell those and make them into stuff or like whatever. That's Animal Crossing. Like
and people love it.
People love it. Like I played the Wii version, which I don't remember what it's called. I played the Wii version, and I also had the original DS 3DS. It was I think it was the original DS actually. I had the original DS version as well. And those two, like the DS version and the Wii version, are very simple. Walk around, fish things up, sell them, and slowly pay off your home loan. Because you always owe Tom Nook a loan at the beginning of the game.
Okay.
He gives you something, you have no money, and then you owe money.
Jeez.
He's like a businessman. He's like the entrepreneur guy.
And you're literally animals, right?
No, you're a human, and everyone else is an animal.
You're human.
You're human.
Tom Nook's animal.
He's a raccoon. Yeah.
Well, why are you human?
I don't know. Like, probably because it's supposed to be you. It's supposed to represent you. Like you're like you're
some
me.
crazy trip you went on. All the animals started.
Well, in Pocket Camp, you're a human, and everyone else is an animal.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I saw something fucking real sad.
No.
So in Pocket Camp, actually, I was walking around, and there was a guy that was all suited up in like protective gear. So like when you play Pocket Camp, you go to the different areas of the map, and and a random other player will be there, but not live. It's like their avatar's there, and
Your avatar.
And that, thank you, and Pocket Camp avatar, and but he was all suited up. He had the mask, and he was all COVID-19'd out. It was fucking horrible. Sign of the times. Are we recording, by the way?
Yeah. Oh, it's just not tracking the playhead.
Okay.
There you go. I think I did see that picture though. Someone was sharing it. Like they're like, "Oh, I booted up Animal Crossing to escape this COVID-19 stuff, and it's breached the game.
It's breached the game. Yeah, hell yeah."
So, other than that, what have you been doing?
Well, I just picked up Animal Crossing last night, and then I've been doing. I think I said this last week, so I beat Terminator Resistance in its entirety, and then I'm actually gonna do the Origins Platinum. What I learned, what I was doing wrong, was I was trying to clear the map in this mountainous region, and I wasn't paying attention to the province, because there's different provinces in the game, and I wasn't realizing, but I was straddling the border, and occasionally I would get to a point where the guys were way too high level, and I didn't realize that was another province, and so I was getting my ass kicked. So I just noticed it at one point. I was like, "Oh damn!" Like I'm way, I realized the people's levels were higher than me, but I just thought that this was what the game was post the story. I didn't know,
right?
And so I was like, "Oh damn!" Like I am actually like right on this border. So I kind of like backed up and started doing some quests and stuff, and I've cleared like probably 25% of the map, I'd say. So it's going well now, so I can do that.
If you just keep chipping away at it, yeah, it goes by.
The trinkets are horrible.
Here's that trick though: if you get down to like a handful left and you're having trouble finding them, just turn the brightness down in the game, like all the way to 0, and the white question marks will not dim as much as the rest of the map, and so you can much more easily see them when trying to find them.
Well, you also said that there's some that are unmarked.
Yeah.
Now I assume are those the hermit locations? Because that's a trophy.
No. No. Oh, well, hang on.
Because one of the trophies is to find all the hermit locations, and I'm not sure what that means. So I would assume that those are unmarked hermits.
Those might be unmarked. What I did though is
what is a hermit location first?
It's literally just a place where like you'll usually find. It's like a pretty picturesque. There'll be some nice view or something like that, and there'll be like a blanket on the ground or like a carpet or something with a bunch of like little flowers and candles and whatnot, and you just kind of sit there and meditate, and that's it.
Okay. That's weird. Okay.
So the reason why they were marked for me is because when I bought like the big collector's edition, whatever it was, that came with all the DLC and stuff, it gave me like 500 AC coins or whatever it was, and I bought the map of the hermit locations with it. So
like with the Helix coins.
Yeah.
Damn it. Well, that's a
it's
YouTube video.
Easily look upable on online. Same with those hidden locations too.
Well, I've gotten pretty good at like using the filter and like determining where I need to go and stuff.
So that uncompleted filter wasn't always there. Apparently, it had to be added in an update.
Oh my god! Can you imagine not having that
Yeah,
at least?
yeah.
It sounds freaking horrible. I got a bunch of them though. I fed a predator a body, and which was a little bit of annoying because they kept coming after me.
You can leave.
Oh,
So like drop the body off at like some alligators or whatever, right? And then lose their line of sight and just hide in the bushes. They'll go up and eat it.
that's actually what I did. Yeah,
Yeah.
I just kind of like did that by
Yeah.
fluke. An alligator actually chased a man like half a mile. It was horrible. So like I found an alligator place and I was like, okay. So then I went on to the main road and was like, I'm gonna find like an unsuspecting victim. So I had to ride like half a mile, and I turned around and there was an alligator running full speed at me. Still, it was crazy.
Man, I'm just thinking about this. You went so long without beating or playing AC games really.
Yeah, Unity broke me, man. It's horrible.
Well, not only that, you had that big gap in between. Well, I guess maybe it wasn't a big gap, but Black Flag broke on you.
3 times.
Well, your PS3 broke, right?
My PS3 broke twice,
Yeah,
and I can't do it the third time.
Yeah.
I can't play that game 3 times.
yeah. And then Unity came out and it was a mess.
And it just
And
broke
then
me.
you were done. You didn't play Syndicate, and then you didn't play AC Origins for like 3 years or so, right?
But it's been a while, yeah.
Yeah. So that's crazy.
I like Origins. It's like obviously I'm doing the platinum. It just it feels like an RPG with very little RPG elements. If that makes sense.
Well, what would make it more RPG to you?
So I think what I'm just used to is I'm used to seeing little like intricacies in certain environments. So for example, and this is sort of true for most Ubisoft games. Most areas are important to the character, but are not important to the player, if that makes sense. So for example, what's that? I can't remember the name of the town in Far Cry 5, but the main town where the bar is and stuff. It's like an important hub for the person in the game. It's like they recover the town. The town's important to obviously the townsfolk.
Mm.
There's a lot of people in there. And like they have like the bar and all that. Like it's like the community. Like, that's where the community comes together.
Yeah.
So it's important to the players or the characters in the game, but to the player, if I show up there, there's not much to do.
Right.
But like Red Dead, for example, will bring, even though that's not really, I mean, it's RPG-esque, but you like can do stuff in certain cities. Like the bigger cities feel different because they don't have their clothes and everything jammed into the general store.
Mm-hmm.
In Valentine, everything's jammed into the general store. But in Saint Denis, they have a tailor, and then they also have like a photo studio, which is like a totally new thing.
Yeah.
And they have all these little intricacies. Whereas like Valentine feels very different, and you can do different things. You can go to the hotel, you can go to like the doctor, or you can go to like the guy and do some bounties or whatever. Like it's a very different experience. Whereas in AC and in most Ubisoft games, Far Cry and the rest of it, it's like, oh, like that's the city. Okay, cool. And then there's nothing to do there. It's like you go to the shop and then that's it. You do the quests. Like maybe there's a bunch of quests there, but once you've done them, there's nothing to do there.
Yeah.
You can't sit there and like hang out with the players. They don't totally talk to you. They just go like, hey, how's it going? And that's it.
Yeah.
It just feels really incidental.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure how they fix it, giving just our limitations on time for making games, because like to make it feel like you've noticed this in Origins where the kids keep saying "Apape,"
I didn't notice it till you kept saying it, but yeah.
They keep, so it's just like every time you're in a city, there's a kid yelling that, and it's just like, well, that makes me feel like, this is the same computer just running around yelling this.
Oh yeah.
Remember
Ghost Recon? People didn't have the hats on properly. They were like placed on top of their head, not like on their head.
So I don't know how you like what could you add to a city to make it feel more real?
Well, I think Fallout actually kind of falls into this too. Fallout falls into the same trap. Where like for example, Diamond City is really great. You show up, it's big reveal. There's like an upper class area. There's like a bar up there, and there's like a vibe. There's like situations that happen in like quote unquote real time. You walk in and you see an argument, and you can do a quest because of that and stuff. So like that's really cool. But once you're done all those quests, you have like a connection to that place because you've done these quests and everything. Same goes with Far Cry. You do a bunch of quests with the guy for like the testy festy and all that crap. In Far Cry 5, right? So you do like a bunch of these quests. So it's absolutely the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
But like the thing that Fallout 4 has is your own towns. So because you built that town, it's even more of a connection. So there's not like an awful lot maybe to do there, although there's the arena and stuff that they added that you can build.
Mm-hmm.
So like that helps. But like it's very much like it's because it's your town and you could change it. That's what makes it different. Whereas like Assassin's Creed doesn't feel like you're saying that meditation thing. That's something I would never been able to like. You can't really interact with anything in Assassin's Creed, so it feels like that's weird. That you can like just sit down and meditate on some random thing. Like that's something I would never assume you could do in the game.
Yeah, but it's also just one of these things where I often when playing games like AC, it's like, okay, the combat's fun, but the rest of my time is running around and either pressing or holding triangle on things.
Yes,
that's not gameplay. Do you know what I mean?
It's almost like you're walking through a world that they created, and that's it. Like you're not.
I run to the objective. I hit triangle. You know, and so it's just, and I'm not sure what you do to make it more interesting. But
I think the dialogue in the background helps, doesn't it?
Dialogue how?
So like in Red Dead, the people are like arguing and stuff like, Arthur, go and get him. Well, hang on, and like they're all like arguing.
Well,
and stuff like that.
your camp in Red Dead felt very alive.
Yes,
there was every time you went back there was something new happening. People talking, having a conversation that was new, and they would go on for a long time. And you could just sit there and listen to people talk, and people might come up to you and start talking, and then you can interact with them and talk back.
Yeah, and they're dynamic based on what you've been doing.
Yeah.
I kept robbing people on the road, and then that one woman came up to me, and Miss Grimshaw, and she was pissed that I kept doing that.
But that game took 6 years to make, so
Also,
AC takes 2 years now or 3 years or whatever it is. So,
but Ubisoft has enough licenses that they hypothetically they could, even with a 6-year schedule, couldn't they pop out a game a year? But then now they're only pumping out one a year.
Yeah. I don't know.
Interesting though.
But if you're looking for other RPG elements, Assassin's Creed Odyssey does add a little bit more. So you actually have different armor. It's not just outfits.
Yeah, the outfits are lacking, I'd say, in Origins, that's for sure.
So you have like a helmet, you have a chest piece, gauntlets, leggings, and whatnot. And they all have different stats, and you can choose which ones you want and whatnot.
How's the gameplay though? Is it different? Like, is it?
The combat's different.
Okay.
So in Origins, you just kind of have a shield, and then to parry attacks, you need to actually time it so you parry it at the same time as they're attacking you. It's similar in Odyssey, but you can't just have a shield up constantly. I'm not even sure if there's a shield in the game. I don't think you have a shield in the game. But what you have to do is you have to hold down R1 and L1 at the same time. But it gives you a duration to do this. So I don't know if you've noticed in Origins, when you're trying to parry a block or an attack, they'll do like a swing, but their first swing might not be the actual attack. It will be the second one.
Yeah.
And so you mistime it because you don't know if they're going to go for that second one.
Of course.
So in Odyssey, they give you like a time limit. So when I hold down L1 and R1, she'll go into a block, and she'll hold it for maybe 2 seconds. And so it gives it time for them to do the attack, and then I can parry it. So it's a lot nicer that way.
Which is really helpful with the guys with the big axes.
And shields are really annoying in Origins, I found, trying to fight people with shields.
Oh, yeah.
There's an ability you can unlock in Odyssey where you can literally just grab their shield with your blade. You stab their shield, and then one is you just throw it back at them, and it staggers them. And then the one you can upgrade that one, I think three times, something like that. The final one is you just explode their shield.
Damn.
And and then the shrapnel hits people around them, and it's just crazy. So it's a lot more fun. Odyssey is fantastic.
I might do Odyssey. I think I might do that.
Yeah.
Because I've been actually doing Assassin's Creed Origins pretty consistently, and I'm not bored.
And a huge quality. It's small, but it's a huge quality boost where the conversations in Origins is just you go up to someone, press triangle, and the camera kind of just sits on them. Doesn't actually change. And and then they both just talk. Only the main quest stories have actual scenes where the camera changes and whatnot.
And the main quest in Origins is boring. I would say that.
Odyssey, every conversation you have with someone who's part of a quest, any quest, has an actual cinematic camera, and then you have dialogue options. You can't really affect the outcome much.
Oh, that's weird.
It's not like Fallout where you can make different decisions. You can in some respects in some quests, but you can like get more information if you want, or just interact more with the dialogue. It's a little nicer. So
might do the Odyssey. I think
free weekend this weekend. If
pretty good.
you want to just check it out, you know. Why is that highlighted? Christ, you got her.
What's that iPad doing over there?
It's just infinitely highlighting something on here.
What have you been up to this week, Ryan?
Finishing off the DLC for AC Origins.
What are we doing here? Well, next week
me and Aaron and now you have been doing Civ 6 again.
Oh yeah.
So me and Aaron have played through 3 games fully now.
Damn.
I think the first one we won culturally. I think Aaron won that one culturally, and then we won scientifically, and then we won combatively, or whatever they call it, domination or whatever.
Domination, that's right.
And now we're with you, and we're trying a faith-based one, so that'll be interesting.
My beginnings really sucked. So like the real early game, first like while I was doing really good. I was the first to get the religion, first to get a pantheon, like by several turns, like well over 10 turns, and then now, like I got basically barbarians. I'm on like a little outlet.
Yeah.
In the lake, like a little piece of land that's jetting out from the mainland, and I got like literally cornered in there for like 30 turns.
Yeah, it does suck. Your starting location can really kind of damage you.
And so now I finally have a few cities, but it's like I'm still fighting barbarians off. It's a disaster. Like
when me and Aaron were doing science, you can build campuses that get bonuses if they're built next to forests or mountains, right? And Aaron's first city had like mountains and forests right next to each other. So he got like double the bonus by building a campus there. And then his next city just had mountains and forests again. And so he had just this major boost of science, and he just took off. It was crazy. And I had nothing. I had just garbage land, you know.
That sucks.
Yeah. Okay. But other than that, I'm trying to download Doom right now.
Eternal?
No, the first Doom.
Okay.
I'll play through that, and then I'll go into Eternal.
Tell me if you get lost.
Oh, yeah?
There's something with Doom games where
Is there no like objective marker
Doom,
or anything?
I think there is. I can't remember now. It's been a long time, but like I mean I got pretty far. But like I don't know what it is. Every Doom game, new, old, I get lost and I can't find it. I don't know where the hell I am. I never finished it. No. I think I got lost real bad, and I just threw in the towel.
Jeez.
I went to hell though, so I got that far.
Apparently, their most difficult setting on Doom Eternal has its own set of specs, recommended specs.
Probably because there's too many enemies.
Yeah,
that's pretty cool.
That's crazy though. That's it. I think that's all I've been doing.
I'm interested to hear your thoughts on Doom.
Yeah,
I really liked it. I played the crap out of it. Like for.
Oh well, Adriano's going through it right now too, and he said it's pretty satisfying sometimes.
It's pretty damn fun.
Some of the kills and stuff. All right, so in a bit of a weird marketing thing, Sony announced their PlayStation 5 hardware specifications.
Oh yeah.
Now, this was a talk, in their defense, this was a talk that was meant to be at GDC, which is the Game Developers Conference.
Right.
Where it's meant for game developers, not general audiences.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's literally there to tell them this is what's possible on the PS5 to game devs who know all the technical jargon. Right? So I don't know why they kind of promoted this as like, see the first new details on the PS5 to like general audiences.
I kind of think many major companies, and like to their credit a little bit, they're just trying to pump out content because people are bored and people just want to watch new stuff.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people are actually on top of their collections of movies and stuff.
But they're also getting criticized for not having any information like Xbox has been doing. Xbox has been killing it marketing-wise lately. So,
yeah.
Like, and for them to take this stumble, it's just like, geez, your next presentation has to nail it, you know.
Well, you can even tell that like the Xbox Series X details, which I'm sure we'll touch on later, but that came out via Austin Evans and
Digital Foundry, yeah.
So you can already tell that Microsoft's a little bit more plugged in because they were like, okay, let's go the influencer route. And that's a bit more of a trendy thing to do, but he was right there in the Microsoft office, or at least with a bunch of Microsoft staff.
No, I'm pretty sure that was at, yeah.
They was at the office, I think, yeah.
Because the Digital Foundry guys were there too.
Okay.
Yeah. So, did we talk about the Xbox last week?
No, it came out this week.
Was that this week too?
That was this week.
Oh well,
That's what
I don't
mean.
have
It's
that
like
story in here.
these people are pumping out people are pumping out content because I think people need things to watch.
Yeah, that was this week. Well, it wasn't in the in my show notes here. Let me just see if I can find a quick page on it. But they kind of showed us the entire internals of the Xbox One, or sorry, Xbox Series X. See, now that's a bit of a bad marketing name. It's gonna take a while to get used to.
The thing is, though, is the Xbox Series X does not sound like Xbox One.
No,
but we keep saying Xbox One.
I think because the Xbox One X,
probably,
and they just simply replaced the one with Series, and it's like, well, okay, you know, it just kind of like makes you get caught up a little bit. Oh, jeez, look at this! I got this big old list here from The Verge. Holy cow!
What's that?
It's listing everything. Yeah, I guess we'll just jump in. Hang on, let me bring this back up.
The thing with this type of conference is like it already created like a controversy about the teraflops.
Yes.
And so it's like, here we go.
To be fair, though, the conversation around teraflops first happened when the Xbox One X was announced, because they started pushing the teraflops number. I had never heard of a teraflop before the Xbox One X. You know.
Right. I think I've definitely heard it, but
you're more technical, yeah. So, but now we count teraflops for some reason, whereas before you would count frame rate or resolution or just visual graphic fidelity. Or,
I don't even remember them talking specs with the 360 and the PS3.
I don't think it mattered back then, right?
And
it was just like HD. I think was the only thing that mattered back then. Is it HD? And that was it. You know,
we're off the tube TVs, everyone.
Yeah. Although they still shipped with
because most people still had tube TVs. I had a tube TV.
I know, but it's just funny that they're saying this thing is HD ready, but you got to buy another cable.
I had a tube TV,
which were expensive at the time.
Well, see, the weird thing is I had a tube TV that was like up and far away. It was on like one of those taller cabinets, and like across the room, and it was a tiny TV, like 22 inches. And what's weird about it was we were able to play split screen on there and play no problem.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand why now we think it's so small. I understand why, because like the TVs are so big now, but like it's weird that we almost can't play on them. What made me quit was I couldn't read the numbers in the leaderboard of Call of Duty Black Ops. Everything was blurry.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, the hell?
Yeah.
Like, and then I legitimately several times had to ask people in the game, like, what the hell's my score?
Actually, this is kind of weird. So back in the PS3 days, we had games that were 4-screen co-op, couch co-op, or four player split screen. Right? Does that mean that they could have pushed more out of those consoles? Like, was there some headroom? Because I hear one of the arguments now why like Call of Duty doesn't have that anymore. It only has like, if it still does, I'm not even sure, has 2-player split screen. You know, it's because they couldn't drive 4 screens of the same resolution and graphics anymore.
I don't know. It's a good question.
I was just wondering, did that mean there's more headroom on the PS3 that they could have taken advantage of and didn't?
It was also a time, like we just said, that where we didn't really seem all that worried about stats. So maybe the people were just making basic games and they weren't really thinking.
All right, let's jump into this presentation. So Mark Cerny, who was the architect behind the PS4 as well.
The soft-spoken architect.
People were saying he should do an ASMR video.
Damn it.
Yeah. So he said that the CPU will feature 8 Zen 2 cores with a variable frequency of 3.5 gigahertz. And this is a custom AMD GPU based on their RDNA 2 technology. The peak GPU performance will be 10.28 teraflops based on 36 compute units running at up to 2.23 gigahertz. So the 10.28 teraflops on the PS5 is in contrast to the 12 teraflops on the Xbox Series X. So that's where the controversy comes in.
How many teraflops difference? Like 2?
1.7 if we're getting like technical.
Which, I mean, people were.
What I heard from the tech guy at IGN, he said that when dealing with 1 to 2 teraflops, that's a bigger jump than something like 10 to 12. Like noticeably, I guess.
Maybe in what we have now,
in
comparison to the stuff we're delivering now. But I mean,
so I guess here's the argument. So Mark Cerny tried to defend the lower teraflop by saying that the PlayStation makes up for it in other ways. And basically, the way I'm reading this is that it has a faster clock speed than the Xbox One, but less teraflops, and so it's faster. But the Xbox is technically more powerful, I guess. And so we had to wait to see how it actually stacks up.
Well, one of the problems we already have is that the games are going to be made for the weakest link.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be, I mean, if that 1.7 difference is that much of a difference in terms of wherever it falls, then the game devs that are making games for consoles will more or less make them for PS5, and then they'll just like port them, or like they'll make them at the level in which the PS5 can run nicely.
Yeah.
Which is interesting.
And I kind of feel like after a certain point in time, like since the PlayStation 4 is ahead of the Xbox, I'm betting most developers are programming for the PS4 and then porting it to the Xbox One. But I don't know what you do when you start out in a console generation like this. You know.
Well, we'll see the true power in the exclusives.
Yeah.
Of both consoles.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Because they're not going to care about what the PS5's doing.
And this happens at the start of every console generation, where it takes them time to get up to speed with that hardware.
Yeah.
So the games we see at the beginning look drastically different than the games we see at the end. God of War probably. Now I haven't looked at Killzone.
Shadowfall.
I haven't looked at that in since it launched, but I imagine God of War looks drastically different than that game.
Well, even Killzone versus Horizon Zero Dawn.
Same developer.
That's probably a fair like a comparison there.
Yeah. So now the one thing that Mark Cerny pointed out is that with the PS5 and the way they made the architecture for it, is it should allow game developers to get up to speed, developing for it within a month.
Damn.
Whereas before it took them like 3 to 5 months or something like that.
That's pretty good.
So I guess we'll see if that helps. Now, one of the most significant things about the PS5 is its storage, which is going to be a solid state drive that is apparently like ludicrously fast. Now, the only downside I find is that it's only going to be 825 gigabytes. And I
didn't read that.
Like, yeah, probably base model, I'd imagine. There's probably one that's like, I don't know, whatever.
probably 2 terabytes or something. But
yeah.
But like, well, here's the question. So, here's the question about that. So, is that 825 actually a terabyte, and that 200 and something is for the system, or are we talking 825 total, and the system's eating some of that?
That's a good question. I don't think the system would take up 250 or whatever it is. You know,
unless they reserve it for the media library and stuff, because that's a real pain in the ass right now, where you save a bunch of clips or whatever, and then you need so much free because the game can't install a 2 gig update unless there's 125 gig free.
Yeah,
and it's this whole fight for it.
And I've heard from some game devs on Twitter who are saying that the SSD speed is like really helpful to them. Actually,
it's starting to get to that point. I remember SSDs didn't really matter, but now I think finally games are starting to take advantage of them.
Now, the Xbox One does have a SSD as well, but I don't think it's as fast. At least they didn't announce how fast it was.
I can't remember what the...
But according to Sony, when they were first talking about the PS5 in that Wired article, there wasn't a SSD on the market that was as fast as what they were putting in that console.
Damn.
It was like 5 gigabytes per second or whatever it was.
I want to know whether that's why the software of the PS4 is so damn slow. Like, that software is actually horrendous. Like, it's pretty bad. The thing is the Xbox One software doesn't feel aged, and I'm using an original launch day Xbox One. The PS4 software is actually freaking horrendous. Like, it's like click to share. Everyone just wait.
Yeah.
Wait. Oh, I want to save the clip, so I got to wait for the square to light up. Wait.
But I mean, we saw this on Windows 10 as well, though. Where Windows 10 on a mechanical drive is just
horrible,
awful.
I'd actually say it's incompatible.
Yeah, it's pretty damn slow.
It's real bad.
Yeah. So this could just be that same situation where they just stopped caring about making it for the mechanical drives and are just solely focused on SSDs.
Which would have been nice if they did that now and not have the bad performance of the PS4 software, to be honest.
Now, let me ask you this. Which do you prefer? So Xbox has SSDs, and to expand it, they're selling proprietary Seagate-made almost memory sticks that you slot into the back of your console.
Basically a memory card.
Basically, yeah. Or
technically speaking, a memory card is an SSD.
Yes. And that'll give you the same performance because however they have it connected will be the exact same way that the internal SSD is connected.
Yeah, that was cool. I like that.
Same on the PS4, I'm pretty sure. But they're allowing you to buy not any, but they're allowing you to buy third-party NVMe M.2 SSDs. But they have to be PCIe 4, and they have to be at a certain speed. They either have to match the internal speed or exceed it.
Well, wait a second here. I thought they said when they were building this thing there weren't SSDs on the market that
they're now coming to the market.
Oh, so there's generic ones
because PCIe 4 is relatively new,
right?
And so these new SSDs are just finally coming to the market, and some of them now are going to be like 7 gigabytes per second.
You know what I'll say about that actually? Now that speed thing's been mentioned, because I didn't realize it before, I actually prefer the memory cards. And the reason why I prefer the memory cards is I know that Microsoft's going to own that.
Simplicity, right?
Might gouge a little bit on that. Well, maybe. I don't know. Microsoft seems to be pretty good on hardware. But, sometimes. But
it's in combination with Seagate, too. So both parties have to be making money off of this thing. And it's custom made.
It's custom made, but they're also mass producing like a whole bunch of them. And like there's there's that whole angle as well. And the console's going to be out for years. Yeah. And then the next one might have the same memory card.
Well, just remember the little cards for the Vita. Those didn't come down in price much.
$100 for the one I bought. Yeah, that's real bad.
Yeah, so I'm a little worried of that situation. But they didn't sell as many Vitas as they will sell Xbox Ones. So.
And like I think Xbox is going to realize. First off, they're giving you a terabyte, not 825.
Yeah.
Second off, they're selling them at like I think they said a terabyte each or something.
Terabyte,
right?
Yeah, expansion.
So ones. I mean, that's a lot. Like even then, like yes, you're going to have to delete games. You're not going to keep your entire game collection on there, but you're going to be able to keep more than 3 games on there.
Mm-hmm. And if you have any Xbox One games saved onto your external, USB 3 drive, you can just plug it in the back and get going right away.
Xbox One games?
Mm-hmm.
Damn, the whole library is almost on my external.
Same with PS4 too. If you have a PS4 drive, you can just plug it into your PS5 and ready to go.
That might be a done dealio. That's pretty good.
But you need those proprietary or SSDs for the next gen games.
See, those specs. The reason why I say I like the memory card thing better is, yes, there's going to be a bunch of people out there that are like, well, it'll be cheaper to buy those specific NVMEs, but I like the idea of going to the store, buying exactly what my console needs, and then just plugging the damn thing in.
Yeah.
Rather than being like, does this need this? I don't know. Will it meet the stats?
It's not like the average user couldn't install an NVMe drive.
Yeah.
But it's a little less elegant. There's going to be some hatch on the back that you open. You got to stick the thing in and screw it down or whatever, or however they have it set up. But they're going to have a certification program. So they're going to be able to tell you which drives will work and give you the best performance. So that does ease some confusion, but it's still not ideal. I do like, depending on the price, I do like the Xbox Series X way.
The Series X seems like it might be a better console.
Could be.
To be honest
I
with
think
you.
they definitely didn't want to come out in second place again. Because that was a soft spot. Or a sore point for them.
Yeah.
Last gen. So, other than that, the other big thing was the audio. They talked about the 3D audio that they're building into the PS5 as well. And
the 3D audio.
Yeah, how they want to give you kind of that Atmos type of experience, but without headphones as well. They said that headphones will still be the gold standard to get the best 3D spatial awareness audio.
Of course.
But they also want to try to develop it for sound bars and TV speakers and surround sound systems and stuff like that. I think the way they talked about it too was like almost like ray tracing for audio. Where it's like if you have a good pair of headphones on or whatever, you'll be able to pinpoint exactly where a sound's coming from, just like you would in real life.
Since they're enhancing the audio, what are we looking at for headphones here? Because I assume it's wireless only.
I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe is it? Would it be? I don't know. Because they didn't allow.
It's not like a headphone jack on it, but
what?
There's not like a headphone jack on it.
No, but like even to the controllers.
The controllers might have that still.
The headphone jack?
Yeah, I don't see why they wouldn't.
Because people are getting rid of wired headphones, but the thing that's weird is
not in terms of gaming though. I don't think.
Oh, that's a good question. But that makes sense because sometimes you'll sit down for a long session and be like, "Good, run out of power."
Right.
That's why I have like 4 sets. It's ridiculous. The Bluetooth ones.
So And they'll also have ray tracing as well, both the Xbox and PS5.
I don't know if you have any more stats there, but this price is.
I have a comparison.
Of price?
No, of stats.
Oh, damn.
Do you want to just go through it? Or
Hell
what?
yeah. Just list them off.
Do you want me to list them off each? So you want me to list off the processor for PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X? Or do you want me to just list and go down each console itself?
Yeah, do the comparison.
Okay, so PlayStation 5, AMD Zen 2, 3.5 gigahertz 8-core. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Xbox Series X has AMD Zen 2, 3.8 gigahertz 8-core. A little bit edge there.
There's your teraflop.
Well, the teraflops with the GPU. So, PlayStation 5 has an AMD RDNA 2, 10.28 teraflops, 36 compute units. The Xbox Series X has an AMD RDNA 12 teraflops, 52 compute units. So that on paper, that sounds like a pretty big jump to a layman.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. Storage 825 gigabytes for PlayStation 5, NVMe SSD, 1 terabyte on the Xbox Series X. Both will have 4K Ultra HD Blu-ray drives. Both support 4K. Both support 8K. Both support HDR. Now, for ports, we don't know what the PS5 is going to have. We haven't seen the box yet. But the Series X has 3 USB A 3.0 ports, HDMI out.
Oh, wait. Say that again? What did you just say? USB 8?
A.
Oh, A.
Yeah. 3.0 ports, HDMI out. This is optical audio, but that's wrong. That's been changed.
Oh, damn.
And proprietary memory slot. Weight, we don't know. Dimensions, we don't know really yet. We know dimensions for the
Xbox Series X.
Yeah. I heard it compared to, it's 2 GameCubes stacked on top of each other.
That's not too bad.
Yeah. Gorgeous design, though.
It looks nice.
I got to hand
like
it. That's a gorgeous design.
I like the little green pulse, too. That's cool, too.
That's not a light.
That's not a light.
The holes for the fan are like so deep that they painted like the lower part of them green. So when you look at it at a certain angle, it looks like it's a light, or it just looks like there's a green something underneath there. It's pretty cool.
They said it's the soul of Xbox. I remember that.
Oh yeah. Another cool thing is like there's an escape vent. So if you were to foolishly put like a book or something on top of your Xbox,
there's some airflow.
There's some
still.
way for the air to get out of there. Yeah.
Just don't do it though.
Yeah. But I think Xbox learned their lesson from overheating. They're not going to make that mistake again. So I think this thing's going to be pretty good.
Pretty good.
And I just like the idea of the heat coming out the top and stuff. And it has like a little stand, so if you do put it vertically, it will have room to get air from the bottom to bring to the unit and shoot it at the top. Yeah.
The one thing I was concerned is just that singular fan. I was worried about that singular fan failing.
But I mean, the current consoles have one fan too.
That's what I was gonna ask, because I'm not really sure how many fans are in the current console. I haven't really looked at the teardown in a long time.
But looking at that teardown of the Series X, it looks pretty easily replaceable if you do break apart or something. So maybe that will help with repairs.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Now, as a PlayStation fan, I'm a little worried, and the Xbox is looking really good, looking real good.
The Xbox literally looks good. I think that the reason why the Xbox might be getting more buzz, past the stats, is the fact that we know what it looks like. We know what the controller looks like. We know more.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen the PS5 controller. We haven't seen the PS5, like the actual physical box. We haven't seen anything other than the stats list.
What do you think the strategy is there for Sony to kind of be holding their cards a little close to the vest?
I think they're not going to show us it till November.
I can't see that happening.
Maybe not November. I would say a month or two before they release. So I was assuming a December release, but I don't know.
I'm wondering if they think they have the runway to drag things out a little more, to let Microsoft show their hand
right
before they start making bigger decisions.
Well, I had a question about this too. So you were saying that this COVID-19 isn't delaying their production of these consoles.
They've both, like as recently as like a couple days ago, they both said that they're on track still.
Yeah, but they're on track. But the problem is like, are we supposed to be ordering non-essentials?
Yeah. I
thought we were not supposed to be ordering non-essentials anymore.
I've never heard anyone talk about not ordering something.
Because I ordered something. I can't remember what it was. A couple weeks ago, and then somebody mentioned that to me. They're like, "Wow, you're ordering non-essentials." Like they were like shocked about it. And then I read a headline that said like you shouldn't be, it was a headline or a tweet or something that said you shouldn't be ordering non-essentials because you're putting extra non-essential work into the courier's hands.
Yeah, but on the other hand, though, like we don't want the economy to just sputter out and die either. You know what I mean?
I don't understand something, actually. One of the things that I never understood with something like this is, and I want to get back to the consoles real quick, but I would love to just be able to say, okay, we're pausing everything for 3 weeks. No taxes, no anything for 3 weeks, and then we just turn it back on.
I mean, that's effectively what they're doing, but it's not like this big mandate where it's like everyone must do this.
No, but some places are closing down, though.
A lot of your school loans and stuff like that, and credit card bills and whatnot, they're saying don't have to worry about them for the next month or so, you know.
Yeah.
So in some sense, they are doing that, but it's not like this authoritarian, like everyone in your homes, you know, all day and don't leave, and we catch you out, we're gonna arrest you and stuff like that. So,
here
we're not there yet.
No, here you mean in Canada?
Here, yes.
Some places. Some places you're locked the hell down right now. But
yeah, because
I want to talk about price of these damn things. So we don't know the price of either. That's one of the things we don't know about the Xbox.
Yeah.
And we certainly don't know about the PlayStation 5.
Yeah.
And so you're not gonna like this.
I know your answer. I know what you're gonna say.
$750. Both.
Yeah.
Both $750.
Now you're talking Canadian, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be $550, $650 for, or maybe $600, $599 for each.
I mean,
in American.
If these things are truly capable of 4K at 60, you know,
technically speaking, though, that's the norm, though, now.
But it kind of seems worth it because even my $2,000 PC does not do 4K at 60. Do you know what I mean? Without really turning some stuff down.
Yeah, yeah.
So it almost seems a reasonable price for a console to be that and doing 4K 60.
The thing is this going to turn people off of consoles if it's that much? Now, I will say this with my $750 estimate in Canadian dollars. I will say this. I would absolutely not be surprised by a $500 Canadian pay thing. And the reason why that is because I am under the assumption that Microsoft will be pushing their subscription fees, Game Pass Ultimate.
Mm-hmm. Right.
And I wouldn't be surprised if PS Now gets a big push. And then within literally a matter of months, they've recouped that $200 from each of their users. And then the profit starts coming in.
Well, here's what I'm wondering, too, is like, I just compared it to my $2,000 PC, but most of the components in my PC, I don't think are made in the millions and millions of units, right?
Probably not, yeah.
Because I don't think there's that many people building PCs. At least for those,
more of a niche anyway.
For those individual components themselves.
Right.
So I'm wondering if you were to order 1,000 PCs or $1,000 PCs in like 10 million batches, you know, would that reduce the price to $500 per unit? Do you know what I mean?
That's a good question.
Because that might be the advantage that Sony and Microsoft have is they choose the parts they want and then they order massive amounts of them.
So they get the bulk.
Yeah.
They have you got to remember here, the devs also pay them money per sale or whatever it is.
Yeah. And then they have services like PlayStation Plus and Game Pass and whatnot.
Xbox Live,
mm-hmm.
even. Yeah, it's a good question because, they're controlling in terms of Xbox, they're controlling the memory card situation as well.
Mm-hmm.
So then they have that. So I wonder how big of a... Well, how much was the consoles? How much was PS4?
$400 American, I think.
So here it was like
500. Yeah.
500 and something.
I think it was 500. Yeah.
Like pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much bang on. Well, we'll see how good our dollar is too.
That'll be interesting. Yeah.
If our dollar is 60 cents, which I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
Then we're paying 40% more.
Yeah. That'd be rough.
Maybe I just won't get them. Let's be stuck in the PS4, Xbox One age.
I'd probably still get a PS5.
At 40% more? Sometimes they don't abide by the actual currency change. Sometimes they just do a slight price bump for here.
Yeah.
But 40% more? That means it's $100 a year-ish for Xbox Live.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about that too.
I'm
Increases
not
all your
paying- I'm not paying
subscription,
that.
all your subscription prices get increased.
Yeah, I'm not paying that. And I probably won't have Netflix at that point either.
I don't know. This is we're in uncharted territory here, right? So it's hard to determine what's going to happen with the cost of things in Canada. So I don't know.
If we drop to 60 cents, then we're in trouble. That's my estimate.
I mean, we've been there before though. So,
But during this is not a world problem, but during a console era, that's not great.
well, during any launch of any product, it's not great. But at the same time, we're only 37 million people. You know,
That's true too.
we're smaller than some states in the U.S.
Yeah.
So we're not a big concern for them, I think. But it'd be unfortunate for us though. All right. Time will tell, man.
What is your estimate for price?
Country lockdown aside, if this was just normal times, I would say it's like 600 Canadian. Now everyone quotes the PS3 coming out at $600 American at the time,
I remember that. Yeah.
but we're in a much different time now where people are buying $1,200 cell phones.
Kind of. I noticed a lot of S8s still around. I don't know.
But most people, I think, upgrade their phone every 3 years on average, maybe. Some people 2, some people longer, right? But your console you might have for the next 6 years, 6 or 7 years. So
A lot of people don't look at that though.
no, but if you divide that price out by those years, it's not that bad. It's not horrible.
No, it's not that bad.
Yeah.
I
All right.
don't know.
Yeah.
600 might be the ticket there, Ryan. I don't know.
Oh, here's another thing. The SSD is going to solve your big problem, Matt, of copying games, which
Holy
is
crap.
installing. I don't know why they don't just call it installing for some reason.
I think it's a bad translation.
I don't. They must have English people.
But copying isn't like they didn't misspell the
Necessity.
word. It isn't. They didn't misspell the word. It could have just literally, and also it could be literally copying files around.
It is technically copying,
So then,
I guess. So, but that'll be fixed because the problem is that the mechanical drives have to do what's called a seek, where it's finding the data, and that takes seconds, like a couple seconds to find each piece of data. That is pretty much non-existent on an SSD. It instantly knows where that data is and can retrieve it and then deliver it to you super fast.
that's pretty good.
So game installs and copying will be pretty much a thing of the past, along with fast traveling and load times are going to be greatly reduced. So
Damn.
we might be finally there. I remember when the PS4 and Xbox One were announced, and everyone was like, "Load times are going to be gone." And it's like, no, we still got load times.
Remember when Hayes said they didn't load? and then does anyone here remember Hayes? Like realistically,
To be fair, when you boot up Assassin's Creed, you're playing most of that game, and it doesn't really load
that's pretty fair. Yeah.
unless you fast travel. So the people got around it in some ways.
They got around it. That's for sure.
No more elevator rides that take like 2 minutes or 3 minutes long.
I'll never forget the Angry Joe elevator, 20 to 30 minutes stuck in an elevator in Fallout 4. And then other Joe was like watching it for him because he got pissed and left.
Did he just let it run?
Like he got pissed and left. He's like, well, okay. After a while, he just let other Joe work there.
Did it ever resolve?
Yeah, so that's what it was. So there's Angry Joe and then other Joe.
Yeah.
And so other Joe's like sitting there and he's like, oh, because the door opens.
Oh, 16 gigs of RAM, but they both have.
Damn.
GDDR6, I want to say, or is it 5?
Damn.
Anyway, it's one of those things. It will be good though.
Anyway, it's one of those things.
It's no one knows what those numbers mean. They're just numbers. All right, some more COVID news for you.
Oh, Christ.
GameStop is apparently considering themselves essential retail. This comes to us from Kotaku. The struggling video game retail chain GameStop told all of its stores this afternoon to stay open even in the event of a state or city lockdown to protect against the COVID-19 pandemic, emphasizing that it is essential retail alongside groceries and pharmacies and should therefore be exempt from enforced closure. And I quote from GameStop. Due to the products we carry that enable and enhance our customers' experience in working from home, we believe GameStop is classified as essential retail and therefore is able to remain open during this time. We have received reports of local authorities visiting stores in an attempt to enforce closure despite our classification. Store managers are approved to provide the document linked below to law enforcement as needed. The document in question encourages police officers to call GameStop's corporate headquarters if they have a problem with this policy.
Okay, so I got two things to say. First off, it sounds like they're a little desperate.
Yep.
But second of all, I want to know whether video stores would have been considered essential should this have happened in the 90s.
I don't think they would have.
No? Because we're not on full lockdown, though. So you got to remember here. Do luxury items like do use at home luxury items, which would technically promote self-isolation and social distancing, would the video shops, like literally video, maybe not video rental, but video purchasing, would like DVD stores and stuff like that been considered video, VHS, whatever, in the 90s or the 2000s?
I don't think they would have considered themselves like what GameStop's doing.
See, I think their own classification of it's weird, but I've had like a night to think over this, and I'm thinking that, could you imagine being like a parent and then having no new game for your kid to play, and then you're stressed out, you're trying to work from home, the kid's bored, and like people might be like, well, suck it up. Well, yeah, I sucked it up by going and getting Animal Crossing or whatever.
Yeah, I get that.
But also going to the store is not good.
That's another thing too. I get all that. Like mental health is a big issue as well. You need something to take your mind off of it. You need something to pass the time. You know, especially for those people who don't just stay home all the time. But an essential service to me is basically what you need to survive. So food from the grocery store and medication from a pharmacy. Those are essential services. You know,
For actual essential. Yeah,
you can survive without a video game.
Yes. Now, is there a difference, and I don't know, between essential and vital services?
And the way the government views it, I'm not sure. I don't know if that's
because essential could be considered minimal entertainment, food, water, medicine, and then vital is literally like, well, we all need shelter, food, water, medicine.
Right. I don't know. I think, but they're probably on the brink of bankruptcy.
They're probably in trouble,
and so I think they're trying to stay open. Yeah.
Poor old Reggie.
I know, he just hopped in at this. Yeah. Oh boy.
Oh jeez.
It'd be funny if he ordered this. If he wrote that document.
That'd be pretty great. Signed, Reggie Fils-Aimé.
What I find weird though is, can you just consider yourself an essential retailer? I thought it was like a government thing where it's like, oh, pharmacies and grocery stores are essential.
That's what made me go on this line of thinking was I wonder if they are actually considered.
If that's true, if the government considered them essential retail, then by all means.
Then by all means do it.
Yeah.
Because they are like what entertainment store do we go to now?
Yeah.
All movies and TV, like all stay-at-home entertainment. All that stuff is all online now.
And they're doing their part. They're releasing stuff early and stuff, so.
Yeah, so like they can't.
Why can't GameStop, just because they're a physical retail space, also service customers like that?
That's the thing. So like maybe they are considered essential, not vital, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
Now the other thing though is, if I was a GameStop employee, I'd be damn scared. Because that's a lot of cases being touched on those walls. Like I feel like the retail environment, I haven't been in one, so I don't know whether it has evolved. But I feel like that retail environment should be, you walk in there, you tell them what damn game you want, and you frickin' get the hell out of there. You don't look around. You go in, you say it, you leave.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you see what Big B's doing?
No.
Did you get the email from them? Or not even email, but that might have been email.
Big B Comics?
Yeah.
A local comic shop.
So the store itself is closed to the public, so you can't go inside. But you can call ahead and pay ahead and then go pick it up there. Or they can ship it out to you, and if you're local, they have a delivery.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. And I'm thinking about getting them to send me my comics, because they said having their pull box, having you like take your comics out of their pull boxes helps them out a lot.
Oh.
Not only are they like still making money so they can survive, but it probably just helps them with backlog of.
I might get them to deliver it. Then
So I might call them
for a
up
week or whatever.
and have them deliver it. Yeah,
That's pretty good.
they say you can also call and like ask them to have it put on hold or freeze or whatever.
Right.
Because they're probably getting a huge backlog of people's pull boxes. Right.
Because people aren't thinking about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Damn.
I might get them to ship it out to me if I can. But you can go to the store and then like you can ask for what you want and they'll hand it to you through the door and have you pay and whatnot.
You know,
or e-transfer as well.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll say this about humans is like you have your. I was gonna say it. You have your fair share of idiots that don't think this is like a thing, and they just keep going around. Well, look around. But anyway, the fact that we successfully closed everything in the matter of a week, many of it like before the end of the week, is pretty phenomenal. In privately like owned businesses.
Right.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. I actually saw an article saying that trust in the Canadian government is actually going up during this time.
Yeah, I'd say
people are actually taking the information seriously and reacting to it. So.
I don't read the news articles anymore. I just go to the health or like the Canada.ca site.
It's actually a nice page.
It's a good damn page.
Yeah. So.
And little shout out to Pizza Hut for making deliveries safe.
Oh yeah.
Hot damn. God damn.
So I mean, still, good luck to GameStop. I don't wish them any harm or you know. I don't want to see them go away if they can help it, but it's looking bleak for them. So
I don't get the lack of them trying to go online. Like I know that people say they missed the boat. They may have missed the big boat, but they could probably buy Green Man. They could probably buy Green Man GTA CD keys and just do that. Yeah.
So next story here, Steam has broke its concurrent user record again. Comes to us from GameSpot, not GameStop. GameSpot. After Steam's concurrent record was set in February, it's now been broken once again, reaching 20,313,451 on Saturday, March 14th. Today, March 17th, I guess that was March 17th, saw the figure hit 19,750,357, while the 19 million mark was also surpassed in March on March 16th. That's nearly 1 million more users than the February record. The trend is pointing upwards as social distancing is encouraged due to the coronavirus, and it seems possible this won't be the final time Steam's record is beaten in the near future. 20 million people all on Steam.
It's pretty nuts.
But I think it had a lower amount of people actually playing games.
It's just people at home with their computers on.
Yeah.
Everyone's working from home. Everyone's scared. That's it.
Well, actually, going back to that GameStop thing, it was funny that they talked about how they help with working at home. But shouldn't you be working during those hours, not playing games?
Well, I think they may be referring to their electronics selection. They have like phones and stuff. They have like phones and tablets.
Yeah, I guess.
And they technically streaming is working from home.
What?
How many streams started up because they're on quarantine? How many people decided to start streaming?
Oh, like Twitch?
Yeah, Twitch, Mixer, whatever.
Yeah, probably a lot. Yeah.
So working from home, you got to go to GameStop to get your supplies. Maybe
If you're streaming, you're probably got all your games.
What if your Switch breaks? What if your Switch breaks?
I guess your Switch could break, man.
They're saying.
Yeah.
I was saying this the other day is I've never had so many questions about basic things these days. Like I'll be like, if I like controller breaks, do I buy another one? Or do I not buy one now?
Like I said, it's weird because they both want you to have less strain on the system as a whole, but they don't want the economy to collapse.
Like if your TV broke right now, the one down here, would you buy another one? Well, as quickly as you would without COVID?
I'd have to go out and see it because it's a visual thing. So probably not because...
Well, is Best Buy even open?
I don't know, actually. Not sure.
I haven't heard anything about the bigger stores.
I haven't gotten an email from Best Buy yet. Like everyone else I've gotten emails from.
Thank God. Good on Best Buy for not sending me an email.
I'm still getting emails.
The friggin' bank keeps telling me how they're going to handle it. I do online banking. You've handled it. Done.
Yeah.
You handled it friggin' 5 years ago. Enough. Thank you. Thank you for handling COVID-19. I will say, if you're a person that goes into the branch, it's probably good news to hear what they're doing in the actual occasion. But I ain't going in there, period.
I did just order a statue today.
See, like I feel like you're not supposed to do that.
I've not heard anyone say that, though.
I've honestly heard it a few times now. And I was in the same boat as you. As I was like, aren't we supposed to be ordering? But then the people were like, well, the delivery drivers. But then I was thinking, but also they could ring the doorbell and leave like they always frickin' do. And then they just wash their finger that they touched your doorbell with, and then that's it. Although if they're in an apartment, that's a different story. Like individual properties, houses are different.
Post office.
And although I don't know if the post office is open for the public part. I don't know though. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing. I did hear that they're reducing. They had like a guaranteed delivery time that they've now gotten rid of because maybe not all the staff are working and they can't process it as fast anymore. So that's been reduced. But anyway, enough talk of COVID.
Yeah, please.
Speaking of COVID.
Damn it.
No. Gabe Newell says we're nearing an extinction-level event for entertainment. Comes to us from GameSpot. Although I should have grabbed the IGN interview because that he gave this interview to IGN. So Valve president Gabe Newell recently opened up about returning to the Half-Life universe after so many years and how technology will continue to shape the future of the company. In an interview with IGN, Newell makes a comparison to The Matrix, the 1999 sci-fi thriller, and just how close we are to some of the new technology in terms of computing. He is, of course, referring to the technical side of how the Matrix works as a form of VR, not the robots enslaving humanity as a giant supercomputer. And he says, I quote, "We're way closer to the Matrix than people realize. It's not going to be the Matrix. The Matrix is a movie, and it misses all the interesting technical subtleties and just how weird the post-brain computer interface world is going to be. It's going to have a huge impact on the kinds of experiences that we can create for people. It's an extinction-level event for every entertainment form that's not thinking about this. If you're in the entertainment business and you're not thinking about this, you're going to be thinking about it a lot more in the future." So what I think it means by that is if you're in the entertainment business and you're not looking into VR, then you will be extinct in a certain amount of time.
Well, I did hear that some people really enjoy watching movies in their Oculus. You get
Is it just like the theater thing?
The movie theater experience, and you can actually watch a movie with somebody.
It'd be kind of funny if you did that. You know, they've released those movies that were supposed to be in theaters.
Yeah, you had to have the Oculus.
Virtual theater, yeah.
But like the thing is like I wonder if the movies would be affected because that's sort of your VR experience for those, unless they're thinking more like you should actually, you know how like the 4D in some theaters where like snowfalls and stuff. I wonder if they're thinking more like along those lines where you could pause a scene and walk into it or something weird. That'd be interesting.
Yeah.
Although, I mean, he's probably not wrong about some industries.
Yeah, I guess.
Or some sections of it.
I always find these massive predictions usually don't come true. You know, at least not in any time frame that is reasonable.
Well, think about this. If they come out with eyeballs, digital eyeballs, and they have this thing where you have a surgery or however it works, and you remove your organic eye, and you put in a fake eye, they've effectively streamed a digital video signal, or at least that's what we assume at this point, to your brain, and it works.
Right.
Now that can do probably a bunch of crazy stuff in terms of software in the eye part. Night vision, God knows. Thermal vision, who knows? Whole bunch of stuff. I can do a whole bunch of stuff. Well, if they do that, they could probably change your whole world.
Right.
And then all they got to do is figure out how to put you to sleep. And then you just sit there and that's it. Or like put you into like a rest state physically while you explore in like a dream.
You know, it's funny. I heard someone recently talk about how you basically become a lunatic when you're sleeping because you are talking to people who are not there.
Yeah.
It's in your mind, but you're still
you're
still believing something that does not exist.
Yeah.
And it's like the only thing that's keeping you from being crazy is that you're not moving, is that you're in this like paralysis while you're asleep. You know?
It's a little scary actually.
That's kind of funny. But I mean, I hope we get to that point. That's what we all dream of VR being like the Matrix. Or AR. No, VR being like the Matrix, right? Where it's like indistinguishable from real life. But I think we're pretty far off still. Now, I don't know. He's in it deeper than I am, obviously.
But what does he mean by close? Does he mean 10, 12 years?
Maybe. Yeah.
Because you have to remember something here. Right now, a very common thing is to store files online. I did that in high school, or I did that in college.
Mm-hmm.
And like no one did that. everyone had memory sticks,
Right.
little flash drives.
Yeah.
No one stored it online. And then all of a sudden it became a big thing. When we first went to college, BlackBerries were everywhere.
Yep.
Like we've done a lot of changes in a
Mhm.
very short amount of time.
Yeah.
MSN Messenger was huge when we were in high school. Literally leave high school and it's dead. It's done, man.
Yeah, that was crazy. MySpace disappeared.
I kind of think that was our generation that killed MSN. I wonder if we were the generation keeping it alive.
Well, no, I think
And then
I
that's
think texting got rid of it.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah,
You know,
you're not
so-
wrong there. Although texting was worse.
MSN was technically ahead of its time because it was an online
Yeah.
messaging service.
My
which-
first phone had MSN though.
It would be funny if Microsoft brought back MSN Messenger for their new phone that they got coming out.
The Duo or whatever.
Yeah.
That's not bad. Maybe it'll support RCS.
All right, that's all we got for this week. Stay safe, folks. Podcasts are great things to listen to while self-isolating, social distancing.
I got a query corner
Man, you
for
just
you.
want this podcast to go on forever, don't you?
What?
You just want these
We're
podcasts.
not even at the
to-
time, are we?
Hour 16.
Okay, well I'm gonna give you a query
All
corner.
right,
Then
do
I
it
got a query corner, but it's just a self isolation question.
Okay.
Do you go through your old games and try to complete them? So like what you're doing, or do you go to new games now and do those? Which one's better for passing the time in a self isolation, social distancing situation?
For me in particular, I've always envied people who spend a lot of time with a single game.
Yeah.
Who like people who just like love the game. It's like their favorite thing ever, and they just want to play it nonstop. I never had that experience really because I was always itching to go on to the next new game. But there hasn't been a lot of new games recently, and so I've been spending more time with the games I have, and going back and playing older games like AC Origins, and I'm finding myself really enjoying it. Not having to worry about that new game that I have to get to and play and beat, and so it's a load off my back to go back and play some of these old games. I finished Outer Worlds, which was kind of on the back burner for a bit.
I'm surprised that you actually went back, to be honest.
Well, like I said, there was nothing else to play,
Yeah.
so I had to do something.
I thought you were just going to do Overwatch, to be honest.
No,
Overwatch or COD or whatever, a multiplayer experience.
well, I find it more difficult to play multiplayer games without anyone else online. Overwatch I will do from time to time, but it's not like I sit down and do that for hours.
It feels boring. Like I know that I know Alex and stuff, some people that we know, they'll play COD whether
By
someone's
themselves?
online or not, but I just can't. It's just
I used to. It used to be all I did.
yeah.
I would come home because I was on the PS3, and so I wasn't in parties with you guys on Xbox. I would come home and play COD all by myself online for hours and hours.
And now for some reason,
A switch flipped, and that was it.
wonder if it's because it's better with people, and so it's just
That might
it
be it,
just
yeah.
feels worse, but it's not bad without people.
Like if I try to play Overwatch by myself, I'll get through like 2, maybe 3 matches, and then I'm done.
Yeah.
So
I will say that I'm kind of going back-ish, but I think maybe what I'm actually doing is I finally kicked my multiplayer kick. I've kicked it away. I used to be playing all the Red Deads and all the live games, but I'm taking a bit of a break from that.
yeah, those take up a lot of time.
Take
Yeah,
up a lot of damn time,
Yeah.
and I'm just doing other shit now. I'm just doing some Origins, now I'm doing a little Animal Crossing.
I think it would be fun just to go to my Steam library and just like start at the beginning of my list, and just at least play them because there's a lot of games I haven't even booted up, and just start making my way through my Steam library.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
I really want. You know what I actually really want to do is I was talking to Marty about this. I have a lot of ideas for actually mobile games. So I really like the idea of a mobile game. I like the idea of a mobile game in a couple of different ways. Passing the time and stuff like that. I like a real-time game, and that's sort of like what Blades is for me.
Mm-hmm.
I can boot it up anytime, do a job, do a main mission, whatever, and I can stop anytime and just pick it back up. So I like that. There's no like gas or anything. Kind of is with like repairing the equipment or whatever, but I've never been that broke. So I like that. But I like the idea actually of the games with the timers and stuff, where I like the idea of building a city, a town, or a base over years and seeing it grow over years, and it growing in my pocket idly and stuff. So actually, last night, Wes and I, when you left, Wes and I were playing that Simpsons game.
Oh yeah.
Like I've never played it before, so I was trying to, and I don't know any of the references and stuff, but I just wanted to see it. And he was showing me his city, which is a massive city.
He's been playing it for years?
He's been playing it for years. Like I'm talking like I went in there and I just signed in with my EA account. You just sign in with your EA account.
Yeah.
So I already have a bunch of friends by default, and then I added him. And everyone was in my friends list was around, for whatever reason, around level 40-ish. And they had pretty big cities. You scroll over to Wes's like outside view, and Wes's is like Toronto with like they bought Hamilton, and then it's like this huge freaking thing. And I went in there, and he has like a harbor that is full. Like it is not just like, ooh, a nice boardwalk with a couple boats. Like a boardwalk that like has a logistical problem. There's boats everywhere. Like his city is massive.
Come to think about it, I think he was playing that when he had an iPhone 4.
He was saying it's been years. Yeah.
I think that was a long time ago.
So to go back to my thing that I want to do is I almost want to make a GDD and actually get a game made, because I want to make one of these games where it doesn't feel scammy or scummy to have the timer. So what I mean by that is I don't want to have to put hundreds of dollars in or whatever. Like I hate the idea of you paying $100 and getting 6 months or 2 years even ahead of me. Whereas I'm just sitting there and like now I'm 2 years behind. I don't like the idea of that.
Yeah.
So I would love to have something where everyone is on the same playing field,
right?
In terms of actual gameplay, I guess. And I think that this quarantine time is almost like an ideal time for me to actually like flush out an idea and then get an actual like mobile game dev to make it. The monetization would be interesting. It'd be weird.
Won't that cost a lot of money?
Might be like 20 G's, yeah. I don't know.
This is just like a dream of yours, though. Like,
I don't know. I would like to actually be
a part of the development
of GDD, and then like I'm not a game dev. Like that's just at the end of the day, like I'm just not a game dev.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't mind the idea of somehow getting it made by like an actual game dev studio. And what I was honestly thinking is you could make it real easy, real simple, and then just slowly release stuff. Like one monetization strategy would be I really like the idea of an expansion pack. So you know, big update comes out, but it's not free. You got to buy the update, but then that's it. Like there's nothing else. Ads is obviously one that's like a recurring one that you could do. But I don't like the idea of a premium currency that isn't. I'm fine with having a couple of different currencies. I'm not fine with one of the currencies being purchasable.
Yeah.
I think that's my problem. The reason why I stop playing those games every single time, is because I get to a point and they try to like sell me a pack, and I look at the pack that they try to sell me, and I realize that that's going to fast forward me 2 weeks or whatever. And then I'm going to realize, my Lord, like I'm 2 weeks behind anyone that drops $6, and then it cheapens the whole game for me, and then I hate it and I don't want to play it anymore.
I remember Michael Pachter, this was years ago, he was playing some mobile game or some Facebook game or something like that, right? And it was one of these things where you build a village and you can have people like your friends join you in building your village and stuff. And some other team attacked him in his village and like wiped out a bunch of their stuff. And he said, there is not an amount I won't pay to get back at those people.
Damn. Damn.
Yeah. I wish I was there to see what he did, but that's crazy.
Remember we interviewed the Tiny Realms guys.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a pretty fun one. But back in the Clash of Clans days.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But those games all, and it's not their fault, they all feel scummy. Like I'm leaving money on the table with this idea. I know that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to sacrifice that gameplay because I want to play it.
Right.
Obviously.
Right. I mean that is the what do they call it? There's some saying that like, but it just has to deal with you. If you see something, if you want something from a certain thing, you know that's the thing you should go make.
Yeah.
So if you want it, make it, and then other people will also want that same thing.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Because if everyone's on the same level playing field, short of your start time, like if you start 6 months ahead of me, well, like then you're 6 months ahead.
Yeah.
You start 10 months after me, then you're 10 months back. You know?
I've been looking for a new mobile game too. I've been stuck on the same two for years.
Pocket Camp. That's your shit,
no,
right?
No.
There's a bunch of stuff. Apparently, there's a cabin and stuff now.
Well, I have Apple Arcade too, but it never clicks in my mind to think, go browse the Apple Arcade library and find a new game. I never think it never occurs to me to do that, and I hate it because I want to. You know.
The problem with Apple Arcade for me is I don't have it, but the problem with Apple Arcade is I find that those games are trying to be full experiences, which they should be. Like that's the goal of Apple Arcade. But for me personally, the mobile game is very much a mobile game. I'm treating it differently. Like I wouldn't want the Elder Scrolls Blades to have really complex quests.
Yeah.
There's a couple of quests that are getting up there in complexity, interrogating people and stuff. I don't mind that. Like you're kind of like right on that line. I don't mind that. But the instant I have to like sit there and have a conversation with someone for 10 minutes, now that's not a phone game. Now it's a full game that I'm just playing on my phone.
The thing I love about Apple Arcade is every single one of the game are like just absolute quality. You know.
Oh yeah.
Like some games are better than others. Obviously, some games are bad. Some games are good. But even the bad games are just made beautifully.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that. I have found a few games that I liked that I started playing, but then just kind of drifted away over time. You know.
That's almost like a mobile game thing though too.
Yeah, and I just need to get back to it because I like those games. But anyway, all right. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. Thank you actually.
Thank me.
Yeah, thank you. Thank me.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next time. Hopefully.
What? I knew you were gonna say. You didn't turn fast enough, so I knew you were gonna say something. Peace.